Welcome to Rope Dropping Knowledge, where we guide you through the magic of Disney.
Episode 202, Electric
Yay.
Boogaloo.
What's that from?
That's a little before your time. Everybody used to say that because back in the 80s, there was this movie. You know when things get like hyped up in the zeitgeist, you know, what do you call it? You know, I guess it's just culture, but breakdancing was hot.
Oh, yeah.
And then they had the movie Breaking, which was silly in itself, but you know, they wanted to make
Now
money
I
off of it.
see this.
And then it came out with Breaking 2, like it needed a sequel. And then it got Breaking 2, Electric Boogaloo. So it became
It's
like,
so funny.
before there was memes, people just actually said memes because there wasn't an internet.
There wasn't the internet.
Yeah, so anything it had a 2 at the end, it would be like, you know, Ghostbusters 2, Electric Boogaloo. You know, it would be like anything. It was just because it was so ridiculous.
So it's 202 Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah. That's how old I am.
We are only 2,000 episodes behind Joe Rogan.
Okay.
He has 22 whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
In about $200 million shy.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, we don't charge for our podcast, so
Yes, we do this out of enjoyment.
but if somebody would offer us $200 million, ain't saying no. Ain't saying no. Okay, so we will be at the parks tomorrow.
Finally, it seems like so long ago.
May 30th? Yeah, it's not 2 weeks ago.
It is. Yeah, it seems long because it was so like much fun and different the last time we went. You know, meeting everyone and all that. So it just seemed like coming back. It seemed like so long ago that we get to go again.
Yeah. You're like the kid that cries on the way home from vacation.
Yeah,
I don't want to leave.
That's my mom and sister, not me. And my cousins when they were kids, not anymore. They would just cry, and I was like,
Well,
you know, all kids, right? Cry when they have to leave Disney. They just like start screaming.
yeah. Some kids scream on the way while they're there, on the way home. But we will be there. We were planning on going 2 days on the 17th and 18th, Saturday and Sunday, but then we cut it short because our cousin,
Woohoo!
half of the Genius twins, I guess.
They're not really twins; they're cousins.
I know, but they're geniuses.
Yeah, they're from my mom's side of the family. I don't know what happened to me, but
so you know, you're smart. You're
I'm smart.
You're smart.
like Fredo, I'm smart.
I can do things.
Anywho,
Yeah.
So my other genius cousin, you guys all know about Chantal, who was on Jeopardy.
Yeah, she's the one who skipped most of high school.
All of high school.
All of high school. And then
She already has her PhD.
she got a PhD at like 21, 20 and a half or whatever. And then this is the other one, Dalton, who is...
Only skipped 2 years of high school.
Yeah, he's a bit of a slacker, but he's making it up because he's getting a PhD and MD at the same time at Cornell University.
Yes.
And he's just did his definitive dissertation / thesis for his PhD. And
So
he's
it
coming
looks
out
like
to
he
San
got
Diego.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think he would have told us if he didn't. You got to watch some of it on Zoom.
Yeah, I watched it on Zoom in the background while I was working, and I did not understand a word he was saying because it was by microbiology stuff.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Microbiology
it's like a
stuff.
bunch of words that I couldn't even pronounce.
It was a bunch of words.
Yeah. So and he had slides of cells and stuff, but I'm like, I don't know what he's saying, but it sounds good. Whatever. I hope you pass.
It's a nice cousinly support.
I was like, no, but it would have been awkward if he didn't, because at the beginning he's like, you know, if all goes well, there's not him, but I think one of the professors said, if all goes well, there's a reception tonight at 5 p.m. to celebrate.
Dang,
And
that's
it's
a flex.
like, I guess it went well if he got to go to the reception.
That's like a UFC fighter promoting the after party before the fight.
Yeah, there was already a planned reception to celebrate the whatever, the PhD or whatever. But yeah, and it would have been awkward because also his girlfriend defended hers the week before, as she already got hers.
Yeah.
So it would have been awkward if he didn't. And his parents flew all the way to New York and all that stuff. But
yeah, that would have been.
Anyways, the point was what? Oh yeah, so we didn't go Sunday.
Yeah.
Because
what if he didn't get it and he just hasn't told us yet? It'd be like, hey Dalton, how did congratulations. It's like
I think my aunt would have told me.
I hope so. 'Cause I'm taking them out to dinner. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not
They would
gonna
have said
celebrate.
something.
But that's why this whole thing is not just to gas you guys up on our family, but it was we were since they're going to be in San Diego, we're like, oh, let's go to let's see them.
Yeah.
They're hardly ever in San Diego, so
Right, they're all the way.
and the
east.
girlfriend's coming, so we get to meet the girlfriend,
Mhm.
and so yeah, so we knocked off one day of Disney, so we're only going one day this time, and the money that I would have spent on Disney, I'm spending on dinner. So
And he's going to Disneyland Thursday and Friday.
mm-hmm.
I may take the day off to
Like
join him.
50-50 for you.
Well, I'll see how it goes when I talk to him on when we take him to dinner. So I don't want to. It's just him and his girlfriend. So I don't I don't want to be the third wheel. You guys can go.
You know, a third wheel. You need third wheel. It's not like you're the one.
They're
that
like
need
a young couple, so I don't know. They're not like old people where it's like whatever. They're young, so it's like I don't know how young people.
Yeah, they're PhDs though. So it's not how young can you be if you have a PhD?
They're in
brain?
their 20s still.
Yeah.
So I don't know how
They're
people in
studying
their 20s.
microorganisms. They're probably going to be examining the ducks' beaks.
They'll go to Pim's kitchen like, now this is not really accurate the way they have this right here.
I know. I remember I told Chantel, I think I met her right before we got married.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then my goal for her was to make me a lightsaber or an Iron Man suit. And then Dalton, I haven't said anything yet, but now I'm thinking time travel.
Well, I had something else that I wanted him to do, but it's probably not appropriate, and everyone would get mad at me. It's not ethical.
Yeah.
So I won't say
Yeah.
it.
Keep that discipline, Tracy. But anywho, we have a wallet. That's the whole point I was trying to get to.
We had it last time, but we didn't really promote it because there was so much other stuff going on that we
Yeah.
forgot.
So it is another, because we've given away probably 6 of these since
Yeah.
we started the podcast, a Minnie Mouse Kate Spade card wallet. So anybody who's in the park tomorrow, or if you're listening in today, if today is tomorrow, Saturday the 17th, the first ones who come up and find us say, we want that wallet, get that wallet. And they're pretty cool. Everyone seems to like them.
We'll try to have stories up to
To let you guys know where we are and things of that
sometimes
nature.
I forget.
And sometimes you guys have friends. Like if you guys aren't going to be at the parks, you guys have friends or family that are going to be there. So you can cheat and be like, hey, go find them. We like cheaters. So okay, so that's that. But then we also have our monthly giveaway, which is the Heroes and Villains Speeder Bike Club bag, and that is we're giving away on the 24th. That's right, last Saturday of the month.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, all you have to do is direct message us via Facebook, Instagram, or info@ropedroppingknowledge.com. And for every medium you use, you get an extra entry. What item from a Disney film would you, or it could be a show, if you could have in real life, what would it be and what would you do with it? So it could be like a lightsaber. It could be a genie lamp. I think we got a cool one. It was a flying carpet, which was good. Yeah,
Nobody
it was,
thought of that,
I
but
didn't think of that.
I didn't think of that, but yeah, somebody already
Yeah. It could be pretty much anything.
for transportation, the flying carpet.
Somebody's just stylish. Somebody like Emmy is just going to be like, I want the glass slippers
What would you use it for? Fashion.
to wear. She's like,
Yeah.
duh. So it could be anything. And winner will be drawn at random on the 25th. And this bag's really cool.
Yeah.
And as we told you during our last episode, we are going to be switching things up as far as our monthly giveaways. We are going to be doing more purchasing from small business owners. Some we know, some we have yet to meet.
Yeah. Yep.
But I think that is actually
And you saw my stories.
Yeah.
On some of them, on the ones I bought today.
Yeah, we're going to be giving away some magic crowns.
Yep.
Coming up. And yeah, I mean, I think that's just more community friendly because why not keep it in the human? You know, like you say, keep it in the family.
Yeah.
Well, our family's grown. Let's keep it in the family.
Yeah.
Loungefly ain't part of my family.
Yep, our Disney family is growing. So.
Yeah. So, and by the way, if you guys have any friends who make Disney related gear, Disney related items, let us know. Let us know. Because it's a double for them. One, they will get the purchase because we do buy them. And two, they will get the promotion when we promote the giveaways. So, and just our little way of giving back to all you magical people out there.
Yeah.
All right. Must be 18 years or older and live in the United States for any of our giveaways. And as I said before, all winners are drawn at random. And just a little tease, Johnny and I, and perhaps more people, we're working on some top secret stuff that's going to be coming later in the year, but stay tuned.
Yes.
All right.
Johnny likes to put his little, when he's teasing stuff, has the eyeball emoji.
Yeah.
So just imagine the eyeball emoji.
Yeah. Yeah. More collaboration magic. All right. So let's get into some news.
All right. The biggest news is Christine McCarthy, longtime CFO executive of the Walt Disney Company, is stepping down. According to Bob Iger, she's stepping down from CFO role as she takes family medical leave, but has graciously offered to move into an advisory position to assist her successor in assuming the duties she has expertly handled these many years. So effective July 1st, Kevin Lansbury, who's the current EVP and CFO of Disney Parks Experience and Products under Josh D'Amaro, will serve as the interim CFO while they seek or search for internal or external candidates for a permanent replacement.
Yeah. So I don't know if the interim wants the job or if they just
they put him there for interim.
Yeah.
And then, like they said, they're going to seek internal and external candidates.
Yeah. So, you know, it's one of, well, I think, let's see, that is actually just as big a news as McCarthy stepping down because it kind of shows that they favor what's going on with the parks and they favor D'Amaro. I still think D'Amaro probably has the number one contender slot for Iger's replacement.
Yeah, remember there was rumors that it might be her.
Yeah.
At one point and all that stuff.
Nope.
Well, related, there's the Wall Street Journal also reported that Iger and Christine McCarthy clashed over Disney spending. So McCarthy had wanted Disney Entertainment to be further consolidated because you know how Iger came in, he consolidated everything to just three main. She wanted entertainment to be further consolidated to improve profits and make the structure more like Netflix, so that they were saying they reported it. That was the disagreement between her.
Yeah,
and
I think, and I understand why Iger did that because, like, under Chapek, you know, he put all these things into these weird divisions. But then still took away the autonomy from the department heads. But if you consolidate too much, you're still taking away the autonomy from the department heads because if you structure it to where all entertainment is under like one guy, that's kind of, or girl, you know, or female or whatever is correct. It's basically
under one head.
One head. Yeah, it's still going to be. Yeah, you're still not going to have that autonomy to be creative. And Iger is somebody who explicitly has stated on multiple occasions he wants the creatives to create. and he doesn't want to. You can't really micromanage innovation and creativity. So let's say, like, you have your Disney Plus, and then you have your Star Wars, and you have your Marvel, you have your ABC. If that was all under one person, it's kind of like you're gonna start getting the same flavor.
Yeah.
And they're not supposed to be the same flavor.
Right.
And they're not. The spending's gonna be different. And it's not even like, even if you gave, and I think this is what people sometimes get confused. Even if you gave each department, big, I would call it a business unit, because there's probably multiple departments within Marvel, or multiple departments within Lucasfilms, etc. But even if they all had the same budget, the same amount, that doesn't mean that they're going to spend with the same priorities. So, for example, if they might want to concentrate on special effects, that might be more important for Star Wars than Marvel, depending on what the priorities are and what they're seeing from the fans.
Yeah.
Marvel is going to have more shows, probably.
Yeah.
Even though there's a lot of shows announced, but I think overall Marvel does have
And
more
they're
shows.
like a bigger budget, I feel like, with their movies.
I don't know if they have a bigger budget. I think that each movie is probably budgeted independently, but I think they have more leeway. I think Kevin Feige has a lot of leeway, like, hey, we're going to release something and nobody's going to say no.
Yeah.
As opposed to Kathleen Kennedy, where it's like, that's why a lot of Star Wars stuff has gotten canceled, because they don't really have a plan. So she's probably being a little more micromanaged at this point, or not micromanaged, but she's probably being a little more careful and cautious. I think she's gun shy. And so until this last Star Wars Celebration, they didn't have a plan at all. That they they didn't announce a plan at all. And now that they kind of have one, it's going to be, going forward, like, they have the whole timeline out and everything. I think things are going to start moving quicker.
Yeah.
Even with the writer's strike, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But
yeah.
But budgeting is just going to be different. Their priorities are going to be different, and it's not going to be the same. And if it was all under one person, that person's going to be like, well, why aren't you spending this like Star Wars? Or why is Star Wars not spending this like Marvel? And it's like, well, it's totally different products.
Right.
Yeah, so it's...
Even though Marvel has bigger budget, or it seems like they do have more leeway.
They have more content.
Yeah. It seems like, but Star Wars has really good CGI. Aside from that one Mandalorian Luke thing,
but I think
Star Wars has better CGI. I think because they have that Lucas special effects department, industry, whatever it's called.
Oh,
Light and Magic. Yeah. So they have better CGI, I think.
I think they have to
in-house.
have better CGI. They can't get away with worse CGI because of just the nature of the stories, and that's kind of what I'm talking about. They have to budget because the people are real people. I mean, yes, there's some that use the Force and stuff, but everybody's supposed to be part of that universe. So if you look at Andor, everything's a practical set. And then that probably cost... And Andor had a bigger budget than Obi-Wan Kenobi. So,
oh, wow.
And from a fan standpoint, a lot of people would be like, well, that's ridiculous. Why would that happen? But it's because that, those executives who are over that show said, hey, this is what we need. Diego Luna's probably like, I'm not signing up to stand in front of the Volume, which is their big virtual reality screen, and just...
The green.
And just act like I'm walking through a desert that's not really there, I want to jump from rooftops to rooftop. I want to do all this stuff. Now, they did have some practical stuff, and those were probably the best parts of Obi-Wan. Darth Vader's walking through the town. That was cool. When Reva was jumping, doing the love parkour stuff, a lot of people thought that was silly, but at least, it was on a real structure, but a lot of other stuff in the desert and everything else is just kind of virtual. And even though it looks real, it doesn't always feel real. Which was a big criticism of the prequels, actually.
Yeah. Because we watched it in 4K and I was like, well, this looks like fake.
Well, it's not just that. It's just that... And they were doing like comparisons at the time, because I think like the first new Star Trek movie came out, and it's like when things are blowing up and when things are chaotic, you know, you want to see panic in people. People react a certain way. You know, people are falling over. They're doing this, and when you're doing everything in front of a green screen, if you watch the prequels, especially the second two, there's pretty much all of them. But if you watch, you know, there's a lot of slow walking side by side and talking. So it's like if they're in Coruscant, it's like Mace Windu walking and talking. And then it's like almost every scene was walking, talking, or sitting and talking. And it's because they don't have the space to move around. You can't really be a human when you know that there's a green screen right here. And you're operating within maybe like a 40 by 40 foot area, as opposed to a real set. You can just let your body go. You can have a real reaction, and you're not punching a hole in a screen, you know. So it's kind of and it comes off like that. And I actually like the prequels, but it's just a different type of movie, than what you would see in like a John Wick. You know, everyone's like, well, why is John Wick so cool? Dude, people are falling off rooftops. Dude, they have an isometric view with dragon breath shotguns going through stuff.
rolling down like flights of stairs.
500 flights of stairs. And it's like, you know, I mean, and you can't say, I'm not going to say like, oh, well, does that mean it's better than Star Wars? I could tell you that that is directed better than a lot of Star Wars projects.
Yes.
I could definitely say that. So just from the action standpoint.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And that's going to factor into budgeting. And so, no, that's a long ramble of saying it should not be under one person. Just put it under somebody, each department under somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they'll be happy. Is Kathleen Kennedy that person? I don't know. But we'll see. They still seem to trust her so far. Hopefully she can hire the right people. All right.
Well, with that in mind, movie dates have changed, and I don't know if that has to do with the writer's strike, but a lot of the Disney movies, dates have changed. I'll read them off first, and then, so Moana live action will now be released, or I don't know now, but will be released June 2025. Deadpool 3 has moved up from November. It was supposed to be November 2024, but now it's May 2024. But that probably has to do with some reshuffling of Marvel stuff that I'll go through later. So in terms of the Star Wars movie is debuting or will debut December 2026. And then Avatar 3 is December 2025. Avatar 4, December 2029. And supposedly there's an Avatar 5 in 2031.
Those avatars, man.
So, yeah. And then there's the Marvel reshuffling here. Captain America Brave New World is the new title now, not New World Order. Is going to move to, it was May, but then now that's Deadpool. So now it's going to not be till July 2024.
Right.
Which moves Thunderbolt to December 24, Blade February 25, Fantastic Four May 2025. So that moves the Avengers Kang Dynasty. It pushes it to May 2026, which is an entire year later. Than the original date. And then May 7th, 2027 is when Secret Wars come out. Avengers Secret Wars. So another year later.
Yeah. So actually with the Star Wars one, so let's just go through these. There's going to be 2 Star Wars released in the same year. And it's going to be, and a lot of people are wondering if that's a big mistake. So in 2026, they have the Untitled one. And then I think the Mangold film, Dawn of the Jedi, is going to be released that year as well. So
which one's that one? Dawn of the Jedi? Oh,
the one that goes way back in history to the beginning.
Oh, yeah. I see. And then the Untitled Star Wars. Is that the Rey one, or that's just the whatever?
I think. Well, you know what? I don't know.
Or the Mandoverse one.
It's either going to be Dawn of the. The Untitled one could. Let me back up. A lot of people are speculating that's going to be the one, but it could be one of 3. I think they said recently that the Rey one is going to be in 2026.
Okay.
and then there's going to be an untitled one.
Oh, I
And
see.
so a lot of people are speculating it's going to be Mangold's one, but then a lot of people are saying, well, no, it's probably Filoni's Mandoverse one. So it could be either one. Probably, now that I think about it, it's probably going to be Filoni's, Favreau's, because these shows are going to be wrapping up.
Yeah, the Mandoverse one.
Yeah.
We just call that the Mandoverse one and
Yeah.
the Ray one. And what's that other one you said? Mangoes? Wait, what?
Well, he's the director. And that's going to be the Dawn of the Jedi.
The Dawn of the Jedi one.
Yeah. So we're going to be getting a lot of Star Wars, a lot of Marvel. It's going to be all you can eat Marvel and Star Wars. And it's going to be bunched together.
But they're so spread apart that it's like...
It's not going to be that spread apart, though, because we're going to end this year. I mean, this year we got two more. We have Secret Invasion, because you have to count the Disney Plus stuff.
Oh, yeah, the movies. Yeah, I mean the shows. Yeah.
So you got to talk about, we got Secret Invasion starting next week.
Yes.
And then we're going to end the year with...
Then Ahsoka.
Then Ahsoka, exactly.
Then we'll end the year with Captain Marvel. Or
the Marvels. But there's also... What is it?
Is there something?
Daredevil and Echo, right? I think that's this year, too.
Oh, yeah. Wait,
I think they're both this year. Because remember, they're going to release... Well, no, it's not Daredevil. There's another one. I don't forget which is it. Is it Loki? That's
Loki.
Yeah, it's going to be
Loki.
Loki. Daredevil's going to be next year.
Yeah.
So, unless that gets delayed, I think all of those are pretty much done, though. But you remember they're going to release Echo in one batch.
Yes, it was Loki and Echo.
Yeah.
That's this year.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, just for this year, it's a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and then things will be pushed back. I think it's going to be a little sparse in 2024, but not much, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of these pushbacks are due to the writer's strike, and I don't know how long that's going to go on, because I think there's some sticking points that I just think I don't know. They're just not going to. The studio's not going to give up. I think they are actually believe in AI as far as writing, and
can't they just do the AI and then have somebody else just edit the AI writing? I don't know. Somebody like, oh,
but
wait,
I mean,
that's not right.
any way you do it, you're cutting out writers, because like if once you add AI, even if you still keep so let's say the writers' room had 10 writers in it, they cut it down to 2 and have AI. That's still getting rid of 8 writers per writers' room. You see what I mean? So it's still going to be a downsizing no matter what, and AI is not, and everyone's like, well, I think there was the guy who writes for Black Mirror, not writes for Black Mirror, but I think he's the creator of Black Mirror, said, well, I put a script, told it to write a Black Mirror script, and it was horrible. And it's like, well, okay, for one, you're the creator, so why would you say a machine is better than you? You know what I mean? I would never openly admit, like,
and
hey.
Black Mirror is like Twilight Zone-ish kind of, where it's weird.
Yeah.
So you can't really have AI.
So that's one. 2, AI is brand new.
Mm-hmm.
So when they're trying to create these contracts, they're not thinking about 2024. You know, it needs to be writing. They're saying we want to reserve the right to have AI write scripts in 2027. You know what I mean? That they want to be able to do these things. And 3, AI doesn't have to write an entire script. What it can do is, because people actually get paid to just give, like, okay, what's your initial take, you know? An AI can go through the lore. So you know how all the super fans and all the people who sometimes annoy us on YouTube, like, oh, well, that's not canon, or this is not canon. You know, it takes people to go through that. Yeah. And look through that. AI can do that in 5 seconds. They can do the fact
check or whatever. That's what I mean. Can't they just write a shell and then somebody else fill it in?
Yeah, but my point is that's still taking away a job.
Oh, okay.
You keep saying, well, why can't AI do this? Anytime you say, can AI do this, you're talking about at least one person's job, maybe 2. You see what I mean?
Well,
for
it's
every
just
task.
Cutting the time down, the research time.
Yeah, but that's a person. So that's why they're striking. Well, that's one of the reasons they're striking.
Right.
It's not because because you talking about, even if, let's say, AI in its current form or future, soon to come form only takes away 2 jobs per project, there's thousands of projects a year. That's a lot of people. And so that's what they're fighting for. My thing is I think it's inevitable. It's almost like, okay, again.
It's a tool for writers to use. Why can't they think of it that way?
Because
for
the writers who have a job to use. Right. If you don't get hired, if they were hiring like in 2022, 10 people for writing rooms, and now they're only going to hire 2. Let's say they're hiring 5. Okay, they cut staff on every project 50%. So if you're a writer and it's already hard to get into that industry, now it's like twice as hard, even than it was before. That's what the complaint is, So it's just math. It has nothing to do with,
efficiency.
It has to do with efficiency replacing manpower, actual manpower. And
I get it.
And it's cheap. And AI, once you buy it, you don't have to pay it. You don't have to pay it benefit. It doesn't need health. It doesn't need dental.
That's what I've been saying.
Yeah, I know.
But I'm saying with art, yes, you can't use AI, but you can use it a smart way, like you said, for the research, so that you're kind of like fact checking what's canon. I mean, there's jobs that I'm doing that's being replaced by AI, but I don't think of it as replacing my job. I think of it as making my job easier.
Right, because
that I can focus on the more complex stuff.
Because you haven't been given notice, and you're not a writer who has to look for a job every 6 months.
Right.
You're kind of like, I think I'll be here, blah blah blah.
Well, this is what makes it easier. Like like you said, that little button that you saw.
It makes it easier for executives. It makes it easier for studio heads. If you're high up in a company, you want AI. But if you're somebody who's trying to get into writing, or somebody who has to look for a new project to feed your family.
Yeah, I think it's different in the.
Yeah, it depends on where you are.
In the art industry, where you have to the creative industry, it's different.
And we just found out. We just researching. I don't even know. I think we said it on the podcast, but the average writer is making like $60,000 a year.
I know.
I thought they were making
sad.
like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
That's why you shouldn't spend that time researching what's canon. Just give a machine to do it, and you focus on the writing. That's all I'm trying to like. That's how they should have sold it like that. I mean,
who should? Oh, you mean the
whoever?
Executives?
Yeah.
Well, that's
instead of selling it like, oh, if you can't do it, let this robot do it. It's more like.
No, they're not saying this. You can't do it and let the robot do it. They're saying we want to use AI, and the writers are saying, well, that's going to cost.
Well, they
jobs.
should have sold it as, we're going to give you this new tool to help you with your job. I mean, that's what I tell people when I want to buy some, machine or whatever.
But you literally aren't planning on firing people because of that tool.
Yeah, that's where they went wrong.
But it's not wrong. You don't have to tell people that. It's just they're not stupid.
They figure it out. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, this is a tool to help you. It's not really like when you bought when the computer came out.
So Tracy's saying that she thinks that gaslighting solves labor relations issues. If they just sold it to them like this, if they don't get a job, they'll be happy.
When the computer came out, instead of the typewriter or handwriting, when the typewriter came out, what did they say to the writers? This is a tool that will make your writing easier, your job easier. You can type all this out. Erase, save, edit, instead of like erasing it in a typewriter with the whiteout thing or whatever. This makes you easier. This is what AI is. It's replacing a typewriter with a computer.
But it's still one person per typewriter. So for every typewriter, you still have a person operating. So if you need to, it might make the workload go up, but it wouldn't cut people necessarily. You see what I mean?
That's what I'm saying, that they should not cut people. They should give each person their little AI buddy or whatever you call it. I don't know what to,
But the point is to cut people. The point is
but they shouldn't. No, I'm saying in an ideal world.
I know you're pro. I'm not saying that you're anti-thing. I'm saying my point is that the point is, listen, AI
that should be there.
Could save us millions of dollars a year for even a small studio.
Well, as a middle ground, they should agree to say, hey, we'll still use AI, but we're not going to cut jobs. each person will get an AI computer or whatever, an AI buddy, a robot to help you do the research.
They could do that anyway.
And then
they don't even need to buy that for them. They could actually, a writer would just do that naturally. Because AI is open to everyone.
Yes, we want to use AI, but this is for you. It's not replacing your job.
No, but my point is that's in the contract of, stipulations of AI is not going to replace people. And that's what the studios are saying. No, we are.
No, they should say yes.
Okay. So I'm glad you're on the side of the writers.
No, I'm not saying, fire all the writers, just use the computers.
No.
I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying the productivity will go up because now one writer can write twice as much.
That's what the writers should be selling to the studios.
Yes.
But the studios are like, yeah, but benefits. You cost
but now
a lot.
I
You're
can
expensive.
write double because AI is going to help me with all the other stuff, and I can focus my creativity. I can put focus on my creativity while the AI does all that other goobly gook stuff.
And after what you just said, I feel like that Shang-Chi or we could just have AI write everything. and you could get a job at Jamba Juice. So,
which probably pays more, right? Doesn't In-N-Out pay like $23 an hour?
Yeah, there's people that Chick-fil-A
and writers only make
In-N-Out.
$16.
Yeah, writing that's not nearly as glamorous as I thought. When I looked at that, I was like, whoa.
But it's art. Anything in art, it's more like the passion than the money or whatever. I don't know. That's what artists say, I think.
I think that if you're willing to do anything, I mean, you could say that about healthcare. You could say that about anything, right? If I believe in this particular mission, say that about the priesthood. I'm not going to get paid, but this is my calling.
This is my calling. Yeah.
But at the same time, you got to eat.
Yeah.
I always say this: Maslow is undefeated. So regardless of
That's
what
why we have,
people need food, shelter.
That's why I have artist
clothing.
friends who are happy doing art, but
Most of my
he has
artists,
no car. And,
yeah.
But he's just happy doing his art.
Yeah.
Not making
But he's
money.
not. But he's working for himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if he was working for somebody, he'd be like, pay me, because if you're going to make millions off of my art,
Yeah.
I should at least have a living.
Yeah.
I should at least be able to get an apartment.
That's true. Yeah.
So I think that's where the sticking points are. And in healthcare.
Right.
And have my teeth fixed once in a while. So, I mean, it's the hard truth. And but yeah.
Well, let's see how. I hope this gets resolved soon because we need writers.
Yeah, we do. Or a very good AI.
If that's the case, then the programmers will be rich, right? Because they got to program a very good AI. Because what if they ruin the Marvel?
and see, that's the argument from the other side. It's like, look, if AI makes a bad movie, there's already bad movies. At least you didn't pay for it. So if I have a movie that, let's say, cost me $250 million to make, and it bombs, I could have AI write that movie, and it still bombs, but it only cost me $150 million. See what I mean? Because so that's the way they're thinking. AI, no matter how you look, it's saving money. It's a cost-cutting measure. And even for programmers, it's like once you program it, you only got to program it once.
Yeah.
You only got to set up your iPhone once. And then there's updates.
But there's updates. Yeah.
Yeah, but
there's
that's
the maintenance.
But that's probably from the company. It's probably ain't from the writers. It is what it is. Yep.
That's tricky.
It's tricky. All right. What's next?
Well, as you all may know, Rogers the Musical will be at the Hyperion on June 30th. But there was a special preview ticketed event that was on sale today where D23 Gold members can get tickets to see it a day earlier, June 29th at 5:30 p.m. The ticketed event or the ticket sales were today, Friday, June 16th at 10 a.m. And the ticket only cost $30 plus a $5 processing fee. And it includes access to the performance, a drink, a popcorn, Rogers the Musical themed popcorn bucket, and a D23 commemorative gift.
Is the popcorn bucket exclusive to the D23 event, or is that going to be offered later, or do we know?
We don't know. If they have extras, maybe they.
Well, I mean, they usually make
They're
a certain
not going to
amount.
make it only for just these few people who
You
fit
never
in
know.
that theater, but maybe.
I got some sunglasses that they only made once.
Oh, really?
You know those Magic Key sunglasses? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they only made a few of those, so you never know.
Yeah. So we'll see. But we
Because
can
that's
go.
going to be a serious collector's item if they only make it. That's the reason I'm asking.
Well,
so.
the commemorative gift, definitely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Unless that's the gift that they're sending to. No, because they've already sent it to the gold members. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we couldn't go because it's on a Thursday, and
Yeah.
we already have a lot of days off already.
A lot of Disney days.
Yeah.
But
So that seems cool for those who. We're just gonna wait till it comes out on the 30th, and stand in line and see it. But that seems like a cool thing for D23 gold members.
see, Chapek would have made it a Genie Plus attraction.
Pay extra 30 and you can see it,
know.
without standing in line or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. So we're excited for that. We enjoyed it when we watched Hawkeye.
Yep. What's next?
Finally, California Governor Gavin Newsom visited Disneyland on the same night that they had the After Dark Pride Night. He was actually there to meet with Bob Iger and Josh D'Amaro about Disneyland Forward. And then he stayed after and went to Pride Night and met a couple people, walked around. But they were discussing Disneyland Forward. It seems like it might move forward. I don't know.
Yeah, which is weird because he has power over the state, but he doesn't have power over Anaheim.
No.
So I'm wondering, is he
just there to show his support?
Yeah. Is he going to insert influence over Anaheim?
The Anaheim thing is kind of because they're not they're not beefing with Anaheim anymore because of all the leadership that was part of Anaheim is new now or something, wasn't it? Because of all the scandal that was going on.
Yeah, I think Disney planted evidence on a lot of them. But hey, you got to do what you got to do,
Yeah, so that Disneyland Forward thing is interesting because I remember when I was a kid and I grew up in Anaheim, and it was this whole thing about Disney's expansion, and it's actually a 30-year plan. So it's still going on, and they're just trying to continue with that Disneyland expansion.
But it's been about 30 years.
Yeah, it's about to end. So it's kind of like, I think it's before it ends, they were like, oh, what about all these things we want to do? But I remember at that time, there were some people who were like, hey, you can't just buy out our house or our land and blah, blah, and all this stuff.
Yeah. So the new plan doesn't include really buying out land. I think it's more about zoning. Because they were going to use parking lot space and some extra space that they had. So to actually open a third gate, or at least
remember when they did that Disneyland Forward thing from the website? It was more like using that area,
the bridge
off
parking
the freeway,
yeah, they were use that
to expand downtown Disney to make it bigger, a bigger shopping area.
And then they were going to use like a whole thing from Disneyland going like towards Disneyland Hotel. That parking lot was going to become new land.
Yes.
So
they were like frozen and all this other stuff. They were getting people all excited so that they could be like, oh, yes, do this, Anaheim. Why aren't you doing this kind of thing?
And they kind of, when you look at how small it is compared to Disney World, that's kind of like they kind of do. I'm not saying they need to expand, but they are missing out on a lot of revenue by not expanding. And so now if you're people in Anaheim, I kind of think of it two ways. It's like a lot of those houses were, because Disney was there before a lot of those residents. So I kind of look at it like, usually I'm like, yeah,
Because they are 65, 60, 68 years old now.
Yeah. So a lot of people are like, well, what about this and that? And I'm like, well, you did buy a house by Disney, It's not like Disneyland wasn't there, when you bought your homes. And they're not trying to take your homes. They're just, they're not
expanding, like you said.
Yeah, but it will cause more traffic. It'll cause
noise,
more
traffic,
infrastructure, construction.
That's true.
It does have an impact on your quality of life, but it could also make your home values go up after it's done. So I think it's two things that could happen. So I don't know. I know that they presented it at a couple of community forums. I didn't hear a lot of backlash from the community. I'm sure there's a few people, but yeah. But it's interesting that Gavin Newsom was kind of putting his, thumb on the scale because he's not supposed to really be injecting himself. It's almost like when the feds try to get into state stuff.
Yeah.
It's like he really shouldn't be injecting himself into local politics like that. But Disney's going to do what they, anything that helps. And he could probably even, there might even be some state restrictions or things that they need to get passed as well as local stuff where he could make happen.
It's going to, the proposal's going to go before the Anaheim Planning Commission later this year, and then the city council next. But right now, an environmental impact study is currently underway.
Yeah. They're going to say, well, we have ducks and cats already, so we're cool with the environment. Yeah, Gavin Newsom. We like to call him Zach Morris.
Zach Morris,
yeah. Or the hair.
Gavin Newsom and his hair.
It's kind of a weird thing. He is definitely, I'm not like a super Gavin Newsom fan, but he is a smart guy.
Yeah.
He's a smart guy.
He just made some mistakes during COVID with that.
I don't think he made mistakes. I think he's just being a politician. And I think all politicians are kind of the same, Democrat, Republican, or whatever. And when I say the same, I mean it's basically you're dealing with people who think, hey, you know who should run this state? You know who should run this country? Me. And anytime you have that kind of ego, you're going to be a little bit weird, right? You're not going to be like a normal person. And so, yeah, he ate at French Laundry when he shut everybody else down.
Yeah.
He did all these things. But then again, it's like, if you look at any state and any politician, you're going to find stuff, He hooked up with his best friend's girlfriend in college. He had to, he's that guy. He's the bro, man. He's Zach Morris.
And his attendance of, he wants to show that he's the opposite. I think he's kind of preparing for
he wants to be
future
president.
candidacy.
He wants to be president.
And he's trying to show, hey, we're the opposite of Florida. Look at me. In California, we celebrate diversity instead of punishing. Or so he says stuff like that. Yeah. So this was also a way for him to, kill two birds with one stone. Come meet Iger and tomorrow, and then it happens to be, Disneyland's first After Dark Pride Night. So he's like, oh, I'm going to go to this and start taking pictures with people. Like has selfies with people.
But I mean, that's, he's always been that guy. He was the mayor of San Francisco. He's always been very, LGBTQ friendly. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think that's out of character. I just think that, he's still a politician. Right. And I think we're kind of, when we rate politicians, you're rating them on a different scale than you would rate like your friends. Yeah. You're rating them on a politician scale that's already below your least liked friend. You know what I mean? They're just all kind of slimy, but he's fun. I saw him, on Hannity's show, Sean Hannity's show, and he owned Hannity. He's a smart guy, but he's still a politician at the end of the day. But a politician who's doing things that you like, yeah, you end up liking them. They do things you don't like, yeah, you don't like them as much. That's how it is. You have to look at them kind of the way you look at AI.
Except AI would be more efficient. But
AI would be more consistent.
Yes, consistent, no mistakes, efficient.
Yeah.
Anyways.
All right. Is that all for news?
That's all the headlines.
Okay.
It's Taste Talk with Tracy. Mash some magic in your mouth.
Okay, we haven't had breakfast at Disneyland in a long time because we are not early people. Well, I'm not.
Not anymore.
I like to sleep
we used
in.
to be.
We used to rope drop, as our name says, but we don't anymore. So the last time we went, when we met with all our friends on the last day of Splash, we did take a break and got breakfast at the Jolly Holiday. And so I had the breakfast bacon croissant. Mm-hmm. I thought it was pretty good, but you thought it was greasy. Compared to, I made a breakfast croissant for you yesterday.
Yeah, yours was better.
Yeah.
Yours
was
better. It was. No, I think a lot of their, like the breakfast chimichanga was greasy, but it was good. You know, I think a lot of their stuff is because they have to mass produce it and they have to do it fast. It's going to be,
and plus the bacon, probably the oil from the bacon.
But everything is like, you know, like at a nice restaurant, they would pad the bacon. They would do all kinds of things to get through it. They don't have time for that. They got 100 orders at a time. So,
but it was decent.
Yeah,
for a breakfast.
I think it's good. You know, it wasn't bad. Is it a must-have? No.
Nah.
No. I'll probably give it a 6 out of 10. You know, it was good, but
I think
you could skip it.
Fair.
Yeah.
Maybe 7. Because I gave that macaron a 7.5, so I guess this deserves at least a 7 for me.
You just don't want to make your new friends mad. Want to make Hannah upset.
No, Hannah would like me if I said 2 out of 10.
No, but they wouldn't want you to, you know, have the macaron higher than a croissant.
Yeah. But yeah, it's basically I rate it low if like it's something I can make at home. You know, like it's like, okay, why am I paying?
But that's almost anything, though.
Yeah. I had this with fruits.
I bought you a KitchenAid, so you could technically make everything at home. You have a KitchenAid and an Instapot. So that's pretty much.
And an air fryer.
And an air fryer. So what can't you make at home? You know.
You know what I can't make at home is a lot of things.
You made beignets already.
Yes.
So.
It's harder to make at home. Let me just say.
You made hot lean corn dogs.
Yeah.
That was during
it's easier
the
to
lockdown.
just buy it. Kind of like easier to.
Yeah. So what you're saying is what's easy to make at home.
Yeah. Yeah. This is easy to make at home.
Yeah.
And then the second thing I had was the chimney sweep cold brew. Now this is cold brew coffee with hickory smoked syrup, chocolate and caramel sauce, cream and smoked salt sugar sprinkle. I don't know what that means, but it tastes really weird. I didn't like it at all. With Disney cold brew, you kind of have to be careful. So that black calf one, that everyone likes in Galaxy's Edge, of course, that one's good. Mm-hmm. The horchata cold brew's good.
That was really good.
That's about the only cold brew. And they always have these different cold brews that they test, and they're all pretty horrible. Sorry to say.
Yeah, I just like the fact that cold brew is not acidic, so I'm always going to rate it higher than coffee. Coffee to me is just kind of like bleh.
Yeah, it's better for your stomach because it's not acidic, but the taste is weird. I don't like it. No.
So then you're giving it a what?
Like 2.
Dang. What?
Well, I don't know what that means. 2 means I won't get it again.
A 2? That's like I don't know.
Okay, it wasn't disgusting. It wasn't trash, as Hannah says, with the macaron, but okay, maybe 4. A 4? Yes, a 4. It wasn't good. Not all cold brew is made the same. Because, yes, Carrie was asking me, is it the same as the Galaxy's Edge one, but without the Cocoa Puffs? I was like, no, totally not the same.
Interesting.
Well, it had the sour aftertaste, too, but maybe that's just the Joffrey's coffee.
Maybe it was Star Wars themed.
Huh?
It was Star Wars themed. It was just a bad batch.
No, this is supposed to be Mary Poppins. Chimney cold brew. Mary Poppins.
Oh, they put real soot in it. They got it from the chimney.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm glad. I want you to be honest. I don't want you to be like,
yeah, don't get the cold
Disney.
Brew. But I'm a coffee snob, so other people might see it.
You're doing pour over. You're buying special filters and beakers and all this stuff, looking like Tim's Kitchen.
I'm Vietnamese, man. We're known for our coffee.
Hey, so if you're landing on a 4, it'll be a 4. So
yeah, I'll give it a 4. It's not disgusting where I spit it out. I mean, I finished it.
But that's the lowest ranking thing you've done so far on the show, pretty much.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Popcorn Disney.
Carl's Date, which is sort of a short prequel. Or not prequel, short sequel to the Up movie about Carl. Mm-hmm. It's a Pixar short that's going to be shown before Elementals, the Elementals movie, which premiered today. Elementals premiered today, June 16th. But before that movie, if you go early, you can see a little short called Carl's Date, and that's Carl going on dates.
Yeah. That's probably gonna be pretty funny.
Yeah, I want to see it. I mean, I want to see Elementals too, but I guess I'll wait.
Yeah, all things Pixar are pretty cool.
Yeah.
I
It's
wish
sad.
Star Wars was as consistent as Pixar.
It
I
just
like
makes you
all Star Wars
cry.
stuff, but I mean Pixar is just kind of like their track record is just so good.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Like Soul was good. Was that Strange World Pixar? Because it didn't do very
know.
well.
I don't think so.
Oh,
So
let's just say that's Disney. Just kidding. Speaking of Pixar, a new Pixar animated movie is coming out in spring 2024 called Ilio.
hmm
I saw the trailer. It looks pretty fun.
What is it
So,
about? Or what does it look like? It's
I
about?
forgot already.
No, so you didn't see the trailer.
I saw the trailer, but I forgot already.
Yeah.
I think it was.
like he's going into space or something.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. It was about the kid who was stuck in space,
Mm.
and he said he was from Earth, and then everybody in space called it Earth because he was like Earth. They're like, where are you from? Earth. And yeah, and they were trying to get him back home or something. And I think his mom works for like a, like
Like
this-
NASA.
yeah, the space station where he called her and she thought he was just bothering her at work, but really he was stuck on another planet or something.
It was like Home Alone in space.
Yes, yeah, like that. So that looks fun.
Okay. Well, looking forward to more information on that one.
Yeah, and really quickly, Hey Disney is a new
Just
Alexa
funny.
voice assistant that's now available on the Amazon Echo devices in the U.S. So
Yeah.
now you can say Hey Disney, but can you only ask it Disney questions?
No,
Or
I
can
think
you-
it's just a wake up word, just like anything.
Oh,
but
like okay,
yeah, I mean it's kind of funny. Like, hey Disney,
yeah.
I see a lot of memes and shorts coming out of it to where they're only asking it Disney questions. Like,
Oh, that's funny.
hey Disney, make my husband buy tickets. Hey Disney, hey Disney, make my kids be quiet. Hey Disney, tell them to put down that turkey leg. You know?
That's
Clean up the
funny.
churro dust.
And then there's some Disney Plus is going to debut about 28 newly restored Walt Disney Animation Studio classic shorts. That's to celebrate Disney 100th anniversary. So they're releasing new stuff, releasing stuff that was in the vault, like
They're going
for-
to be restored and
Yeah.
updated. Yeah.
starting like July 7th. Like for example, the Skeleton Dance that was released in 1929.
Yeah. That's
Building
that, like-
a building.
Creepy skeletons.
Yeah,
like
those
that.
skeletons
Yeah.
on in Halloween we see.
They,
on
they
the-
show them every Halloween, which is
yeah,
funny.
but I was like, where is this from an actual movie? But now I know.
Yeah.
Building a building, Bath Day, Goofy Gymnastics, Aquamania. These are all like 1933,
Well,
1947.
yeah, one's from 30. One's from 29. The skeleton
that's
is
the
from
skeleton
29,
one.
And then 33, yeah.
And then
Jesus.
there's a lot more that they'll
Yeah.
be releasing, but
Yeah.
in like spurts.
Yeah,
But the
we-
first batch is July 7th.
We should do a when they're all released. We should do like a little segment on those. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, because they're short, so I
Yeah.
don't think we would be sitting there for hours watching like that.
Yeah. But
Like we
some
never
of them
saw
are pretty
Peter and
interesting.
Wendy still.
I know.
So, okay.
We still haven't reviewed Thor. Love and Thunder. So.
Yes.
All right.
Star Wars Outlaws.
Yes.
It's a game,
Mm-hmm.
and it says experience the first ever open world Star Wars game set between the events of Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Open world Star Wars game.
So open world is the things that women lose their husbands to. They're the game. They're the games like.
Oh, great! If you're gonna play this on that dumb Apple Pro thing, that's even worse.
No, it's coming up before. Well, I don't know when it's coming up. But games always get delayed, so it may actually probably come out after that. But no, I wouldn't play it on the virtual. I'll play it, on the Xbox X that I have. But
Yeah. So how's it different from the other Star Wars games?
well, there's been dozens of Star Wars games throughout the years, but open world is Hogwarts Legacy was open world. The Elder Scrolls. For anybody who
like
has a nerd
Role
husband
playing?
or anybody who's a nerd themselves, like shouldn't say it's just men. It's not just role playing. Like Grand Theft Auto is open. It's like you could go anywhere on the map. So like most games, even if it's a story-driven game, you're stuck to a path, even if it's a really big path. But like, it's
you
like,
can
well,
go
I wanna,
anywhere you want.
Yeah, it's open world. Like, if I want to walk up the hill, I'm going up that hill. See what's on the other side of the hill.
Like that one game you were playing. Was that Harry Potter?
Yeah, Hogwarts.
Is that
it's
open world?
That's open world.
That's
You know,
what that
it's like I
means.
could walk down the street, or
I
I could
didn't
just
know
go
the
there.
Star Wars ones were not.
No, well, this is the
past
first one.
ones.
So Ubisoft is making this, and so Ubisoft is famous. They've made a lot of stuff. Far Cry was probably their first big open world one, but they're most famous for Assassin's Creed. And so,
yeah, I know that one.
And then Assassin's Creed, especially the more modern ones like Origins, Odyssey, and Vikings of Valhalla. They are more role playing. Like, I think they're going back to more of the assassin, the stealth type games. But even those were kind of open world. And so,
I guess I don't know what non-open world is, which is those other Star Wars ones where you just stick with one path.
yeah. So like, think of like Jedi Survivor. Like if you're on, you're in a Empire base, you can't like, well, you know, this doesn't interest me. I'm leaving the base and going swimming.
You
or
have
whatever.
to stick to that storyline
and
get
part
yourself
of the game.
out of the situation.
And then there's a cutscene, and now you're in a different thing.
Oh,
you know, now you might be in a desert, but that desert still has boundaries like hills and canyons that you can't go over and stuff. In an open world game, technically you can go anywhere, and so that's what makes it so interesting. Is to like, okay, well, since Star Wars has never had that, it takes a lot of attention to detail. It takes a lot of, you know, what used to be called AI, but now we have real AI. But the programming should be good enough because if you go off into a forest or something, there should be stuff there. Even if the game story doesn't really take you there, you should still run into monsters and critters and
it doesn't.
Yeah.
But then there's no one story then because you're just
Well, it's
leaving
still a
this one
story.
thing and going
They have
somewhere
story
else.
points within the open world that you still have to accomplish if you want to finish it, or you could just wander around. So most games are like, look, I'm taking you to the next part in the story, as opposed to, I don't want to finish the main storyline, and I'm just going to wander around and explore for 10 hours before I get back to it, and that's what an open world can do.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. So it's going to be interesting because Star Wars, has never had that. And this particular game is not even about Jedis. It looks like it's just about a scoundrel. So it's going to be more
it's
gunplay.
outlaws.
Yeah, it's not going to be, I'm not saying there's not going to be Jedi and stuff in it, because, there actually shouldn't be a lot of Jedi.
Because it's between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi.
So there might be Inquisitors. If they're not all dead by then, I don't think. Yeah, there should be Inquisitors around. But I don't think you are probably going to be Force sensitive or anything. I think you're going to be more like a Han Solo type. So, but it looks good from the the screenshots they showed so far. So, yeah, I'm interested. I'm always down for more Star Wars games.
Okay, and then finally, the last piece is Disney World announces some Christmas parties.
Yeah.
They have a new Christmas party called Jollywood Nights, and then Very Merry Christmas Party is coming back. So everybody at Disneyland was all jealous because why do they get 2 Christmas parties and we still have none? We had the one that when Disneyland first reopened and then never again. It never came back.
Yeah.
Or not never again, but not last year. It didn't come back. We didn't, what was it called? Merriest Nights.
Yeah.
So Jollywood Nights is a ticketed event after hours for Hollywood Studios. It's going to run from November 11th through December 20th.
Which is
a long
longer
time.
than a month. Yeah.
Tickets will go on sale July 6th, and the prices range from $159 to $179 per person.
So, I think first of all, they have room. Like, Disney is, and again, that's another reason we need the expansion is that there's not a lot of room, and they're banking, as you can see with the way the Magic Key structure is now. They know they're going to get just a ton of people during the holiday season, and to do a parade, it's hard. To do these things, get people out of the park, it's hard. It's just the logistics. It's just, I'm not saying they can't do it, but it's just one of those things where, one, they probably don't need the extra money for that season anyway because so many people just pack in there. And all those people are unfavorables. I mean, no, they're favorables. Sorry. Unfavorables are blocked.
Yes.
So at least for the the Christmas week through New Year's, those 2 weeks.
I guess that makes sense why Disneyland doesn't do the Merriest Nights, because if those 2 weeks are blocked by magic key holders, why would a single day ticket holder buy a single day
and then,
plus buy a night whatever? So that it makes sense why they didn't do it at Disneyland last year. And then and then Mickey's Very Merry Christmas is at Magic Kingdom, and that's November 9th through December 22nd.
Now, Jolly Holly or whatever that one.
Jollywood.
I think it's being hosted by Kermit and Miss Piggy.
Oh, yeah. I think I read that somewhere, too. Yeah.
Which is pretty funny. So,
yeah, they have those 2. Yeah, it makes sense because, if they're only taking up one park, there's 3 other parks, tourists can go to while they have those nights going on. So, makes sense.
They got the space, and there's people who are going to come. When tourists are always, because, again, Disney World is a tourist park. It's a favorables park.
Mm-hmm.
They'll drop money, maybe not Galactic Star Cruiser money, but they still drop money more than they'll drop at Disneyland, which is a pass holder park. Still the case, can't get around it. What they call it in China, Mei Banfa. That term, Mei Banfa. When they say that, it basically means no way around. It's like, what are you gonna? Like when the Italian mafia movies, like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
YOLO? I don't know.
No, YOLO's different. No, it's like there's nothing you can do about it. So So I guess that's it for us today. We will be back next week. We'll be at the parks tomorrow with that Kate Spade Minnie Mouse card wallet. Looking forward to seeing anyone who can catch us. Remember, first catch, first get. And that's pretty much it for us today. I'm Brian.
I'm Tracy.
Stay magical.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe and visit us at www.ropedroppingknowledge.com.